about your goals for 2020.
Yes.
And if it's a racing goal, let me remind you that coming up with a racing goal doesn't just mean, okay, this is what I'm going to focus on: swimming, biking, and running. You also need to focus on what else are you going to do in your life to maintain that incredible balance that you need, mind, body, and spirit, to lead to you getting that result that you hope for in that A race of yours. What are the things that you can do outside of the swimming, biking, and running that can make an enormous difference on race day to allow you to achieve that dream or goal? Welcome to the Bek and Siri show.
And here at Team Siri's Tri Club, it's not just about swim, bike, run. It's about who you become. On our show, we don't just talk to you about swimming, cycling, and running.
We talk about mindset. We talk about fearless authenticity and being your very best self.
Hi there, Cam here from Team Sirius. This week on the live chat, Bek and Siri are going to talk about your goals for 2020, not just in triathlon, but in life. And don't forget, if you want to be part of these chats live, you can join the Tri Club at teamsiriustriclub.com.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. Happy New Year's
Happy
Eve.
New Year. And this is not wine.
No, this is tart cherry juice.
Tart cherry with...
Organic tart cherry juice with sparkling water. This is our new cocktail that we have
wine.
now.
It looks like wine. So
Organic tart cherry. Tell people what's good about that, Beck.
Okay, so the tart cherry is really good for melatonin. It actually helps you sleep. But tart cherry is also really good for inflammation, and it's meant to help people with autoimmune sort of stuff going on. So for Siri, I've been reading a lot about the tart in berries, not just normal berries, obviously great antioxidants, but the tart cherry in particular is a really good antioxidant.
Beck has become an absolute expert.
It's not an expert.
Cancer fighting.
I'm a triathlon
foods.
Expert. I'm not a.
Well, she's a triathlon expert too. She actually really is. She has come up with. She's studying all
Janet.
the very best people that know about cancer fighting foods and how to reduce inflammation, all these things. So if you have any questions on that tonight, please
over
ask.
Big Pharma is all I can say. If you want to see a really good TED Talk, there's Dr. Lee, L.I. The latest one has like 6 million views in the last few days, and he talks about how foods can heal cancer. We all know this, but actually seeing the literature and the PubMed studies and the case law behind it, it's really exciting.
And it's not just cancer fighting, guys, but it's also inflammation, which for those of you that have any issues racing with your gut, I mean, all of this stuff, this
and
information
we both had those issues.
Is incredible. So look that up and listen to that TED Talk. It's amazing, but this can help athletes and people suffering from disease as well.
And most of all, like 90% of autoimmune is caused by some sort of like inflammation or microbiome dysbiosis. So, why is my sister ringing me? That's your sister.
So tonight, guys, seeing that it's New Year's Eve, I was thinking that we should all talk about, and feel free to write on the wall, about your goals for 2020.
Yes.
And if it's a racing goal, let me remind you that coming up with a racing goal doesn't just mean, okay, this is what I'm going to focus on: swimming, biking, and running. You also need to focus on what else are you going to do in your life to maintain that incredible balance that you need, mind, body, and spirit, to lead to you getting that result that you hope for in that A race of yours. What are the things that you can do outside of the swimming, biking, and running that can make an enormous difference on race day to allow you to achieve that dream or goal?
Yep. And we can talk about ours too. I mean, obviously ours aren't all related to triathlon. We have some personal ones, but I know some of you guys will definitely have questions coming into the 2020 season. And our approach and our philosophies, they don't really change with the sport, but I think we've definitely grown with how much we've learned with, well, even seeing my wife going through this with just the mindset and how positive mindset is everything. And just what you can focus on and controlling what you can focus on. So I know some of you also are going through your own like issues with health, and I think hopefully 2020 is Siri's biggest triumph and biggest victory ever. And I know she'll be able to share that with everybody. But yeah, let us know if you have any questions, you guys, because we are sitting here on New Year's Eve, and obviously we're in quarantine. We're not allowed out of the house. Siri's white count is so low that her immune system's really shot, so we can't go anywhere. So we thought, how cool is it that we've still got
We
like
get to
10
be with
athletes?
all of you. This
10
is
athletes
like
are actually on listening.
best
on
New
Eve.
Year's
Yeah.
ever to be here with all of you. So Beck, let's start.
And our tri community has been incredibly
Incredible.
supportive,
You guys,
absolutely
I
amazing.
cannot thank you all enough for. I'm
Kath
telling you
Carpenter,
that my ultimate goal, of course,
Martin.
is not only healing but being permanently healed.
Hi, Becca.
And I know that
Laverne.
the love and support and encouragement and words from all of you is going to be such a huge part in that. And when it's time for me to go into hospital for a month, Beck is helping me put all your notes and all your words of encouragement and all your love, and we're going to put it up all over the walls of my hospital
And we
room.
probably have like, I don't know, 1,000 or so. So I may not be able to print them all, but we do have like, I was at least 4. Oh, sorry. I've got to find the questions on here. It's like my eyesight's going with, we hit 40. I can't see very well. So I've got to look at these questions. So we have one here. Janet Dixon. Now, Janet, I love that picture of you with your Believe sweater and your
Janet,
doggy.
thank you. Oh my God,
it's a
almost
golden
brought me
lab,
to
I think.
tears.
Oh, we love
Thank you so much. It made me so happy.
Okay, so here we go. 70.3 Texas, Ironman Tulsa, Boulder 70.3, and maybe Ironman Kosovo.
Wow.
And she's going to do more strength training and dedicate more time to family and celebrate every day.
Janet,
moving forward.
amazing.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's absolutely awesome. So,
goal to finish the first 70.3. Oh, awesome.
Awesome. So, in listing those races as your ultimate goals, how can you organize your season so that each of those days is an awesome experience where you achieve what you hope to achieve? What are the things that you need to do or lay out to make sure that all of those days are amazing days no matter the result? Part of what I think you can start thinking about in the new year, things like, okay, are you comfortable on your bike? Do you love your bike setup? Is it a setup where, for me as an athlete, I didn't have the best, most aerodynamic position on my bike, but I was so comfortable that I could tap into all the power inside of me because I was comfortable. So are you comfortable in your bike setup?
Comfort is the key.
Are you comfortable with the goggles you wear? Are you comfortable with the run shoes that you wear?
Are you comfortable with your race kit? Because I know that a lot of people have chafe and a lot of issues with stitching. So look for a kit that has less stitching and just try it out in training. Like sometimes you have to go through 5 or 6 different nicks to see which ones suit you.
But all these things, start thinking about these things now so that you have everything. When you start your training going into this upcoming season, you've got a bike that you're comfortable on, you feel powerful on, you love your swim goggles, you love your swimsuit, you love the paddles you use to train with, you feel like they're making you stronger, you've got your band ready to go for the pool, you've got the run shoes that you love, and you've got all of this sorted, your race kit, you've got all of that sorted. So all you need to focus on is not only doing the training that's going to bring out the best in you in all 3 sports, but you can also focus on your family and focus on being your best self and focus on healthy eating and nutrition and drinking lots of water and squeezing lemon in your water all the time and staying healthy, all of those things. So when we lay out these goals, we also want to have a strategy of how am I going to go about making that happen rather than just wishing great things to happen? What are my steps that I'm going to take to ensure that I make all of these experiences as awesome as we know that they can be for you?
I want to quickly say hi to Gabby, hi to Laverne, hi Karen Burks, and hi Patricia Well.
Hi,
Those guys just
everyone.
all
We
came
love
on.
you all so much. Happy New Year.
So we talked about in one of our last shows, I think it was the second last one, about off season and how you prepare your guys. And basically it was like 2 weeks of nothing. I don't know if I've got this right. Then it was a week of...
Okay, let me take this.
Let's go through it. Yeah, let's go through it again real
for
quick.
my athletes,
I'm
typically, and everybody...
I just want to show people that I've got to eat because I'm starving. I haven't eaten all day. This is what we're eating. These are salsa chips.
That's what she's eating right now.
You're allowed to eat them, aren't you?
Yeah,
And
I
they're
am.
grain-free and they're organic, so...
Yeah,
can't be too
organic, guys. Go organic if you can.
Sorry.
So with my athletes, and it depends, there might be a different situation for a different athlete because all of you are so unique, but 2 weeks off completely. I want, after 1 week off completely, my athletes begging me to let them train. And
they
I always
are,
say,
trust me.
No, you can't. No, they're not training.
No,
they're begging me to train.
My athletes beg me after 1 week,
right.
and they all work full time. It's just crazy.
And my athletes have learned to really embrace the 2 weeks off because they know it's coming. And I've encouraged them to embrace it. And it's a great time to spend lots of time with your family, you know, get ready for the holidays, take care of, you know, journaling and do all the things that you never really have a lot of time to do. So I want them by after 1 week to be begging me to let them train again. But the answer is always no. And then they kind of settle in for that second week. Mm-hmm. And what that does is it gives you a complete reset, both physically, mentally, emotionally. It puts you in balance at home. And it's just so incredible. After that, we do anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks of one thing a day. So just one physical thing a day. 2 weeks of that is absolutely no swim, bike, or run.
How long can they train after the 2
I
weeks?
say usually an hour to an hour and a half maximum, and that can be a yoga class, a Pilates class, a Zumba class.
They can't do swim, bike, run.
No swim, bike, run. Mary Carmen was amazing at this year. I was so proud of you, MC. Actually, all my athletes have been amazing at this. So Megan, Mary Carmen,
just went skiing for 5 hours.
Monica, doing all different types of classes that you would never do that's active and physical, but it's not swimming, it's not biking, it's not running. So by now, this is 4 weeks in, they are desperate to swim, bike, and run again, which is what we want. We want you to remember why you love triathlon. Why, my God, you actually miss going to the pool? Well, you were just saying a month ago that you hated it and you were finding it so hard to get motivated to swim. Whatever it is, this will will reconnect you with your love, your passion for the sport, which is so important. Mm-hmm. So that's 4 weeks in. Then we go into 4 weeks.
That's when my guys start training, but Siri has.
So we're cross-country skiing, we're snowshoeing, we're downhill skiing, we're doing all sorts of other things, staying physical, one thing a day, 7 days a week, have fun, enjoy it, just enjoy being fit. Then we go into anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks of 5 days a week of training. The other 2 days are completely off. And what I do is I give 5 days to my athletes, 5 days of getting back into the swimming, the biking, the running. And those days have to be followed in order. So I'll do a swim and a bike on day 1. I'll do a bike and a run on day 2. I'll maybe do a swim and a run day 3, a long ride, and then a long run. And the athlete can then, wherever they feel like they want that day off, they can slot it in. They just have to make sure that they go on to the next day of training. Does that make sense? Then from there, we're into full-on training. Usually,
5 weeks.
No, that's actually 2 for anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
And then
don't freak out, my guys. Remember, these guys train 40 hours a week, so they need
this
physically need more rest, and you guys mentally do. But I know that also that it's your escape from work, so it's a little bit of a tweak for us.
Yeah.
We do maximum 2 weeks off, and then 2 weeks pretty easy.
And that's what I'm saying. It's unique to the athlete. It's unique to the person. It's unique to the situation. Mm-hmm. And I take that into account. I know Beck does too. Like, what does this human being need right now?
Melissa was really going crazy after just even 1 week, 2 weeks off. So I said, okay, we negotiated a third week where she could start on week 3. So yeah,
okay.
It's all individual.
It's all unique. It's all individual.
It keeps her sane.
From there, we usually go into a swim block, or if someone really wants to build up their run, we'll go into a run block or a bike block or whatever it is. But the swim block is pretty. I give that to mostly everyone because swimming is an unbelievable way of getting aerobically fit, and that aerobic fitness translates beautifully over to the bike and the run. And any of my athletes on here that have been through the swim block before, if you could share, I know you always worried, like, oh my God, I'm not doing any biking, any running, I'm going to be so awful when I get back. And then you get back to the biking and the running, and you're always amazed at how great you feel biking and running, even though you haven't done much of it. And that is the power of the swim. Plus, we all could work on confidence and strength in the swim, because if you have an amazing swim where you can swim fast and you can swim strong and it doesn't take everything out of you, you can then really step up to the bike and the run and lay out everything you have. Your turn.
Whew. Okay, well, I'm gonna go into the question here because Maria asked, where are we? Oh no, Oh, Merle. So, hi, Merle Nick. Is that how you say it? Merle Nilk. Is it L-N-I? I can't see very well. I think it's Merle. But I can't see your last name. I'm sorry, Merle. I can't see your last name.
I love that
How much
name.
do you recommend? I'm going to answer this one, then Siri can. How much do you recommend lifting heavy for women? I've seen it and recommended a lot lately. Okay. So my perspective on weight training has changed a little bit, only from looking at a lot of case studies and a lot of recent research on women, like menopausal mostly, or sort of post 40, 45. I say menopausal post 40 because I'm going through menopause at 40. I'll admit that. Woohoo! But menopausal women and women that are starting to go through menopause and then post menopause, I think lifting is really important. Added to what we already always, our philosophy is sport-specific strength training on the swim and the bike and the run, which Siri will go through. But after researching a lot on this, I really feel like especially women and men for their testosterone, in the off season is a good time. It's really hard to do it in season because you're completely fatigued, and it does cause more microfibril tears in your muscle. So you will have DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, and you will be a little bit sore, especially the first few times. So I don't recommend heavy lifting in season at all.
Nor do I.
But right now, with all the research I've been looking at, I really do think that women can do two things. They can do in the off season. One would be what you would call going to fatigue once a week on compound movements. If you're doing the mobility and stability is a no-brainer, we always recommend that. One-legged stuff, glute activation, and a lot of core work. But I think doing some sort of fatigue with whether it's a weighted lunge on both legs, but again you got to be careful. Like they recommend plyometrics as well, but we can't always do plyometrics because of injury. So I think going to fatigue with a pretty moderate weight on the legs and then on the upper body with compound movements is the safest way if you're doing your mobility with stability work as well. But I would not go into a heavy compound movement if you haven't laid down the foundation of, like my guys do, 3 months of mobility, stability before they even go in there. You want all the little synergists, all the little assisters, all of those firing. You want perfect technique. I would recommend having someone look at your technique before you go heavy. But right now, like if you've been doing that stuff in season and you don't have niggles and you have great form and you know your technique, I would say you could do to fatigue once a week on upper body and lower body. So you just do a lat pull down, a seated row, a chest press, and a V squat or a lunge, or even better, a leg press. And if you're near OsteoStrong, you don't even need to do that. You just go to OsteoStrong. And that would be Maria Hill, because I know you're near there. You don't even need to lift. You just go to OsteoStrong. It does exact same thing with no soreness in 3 minutes. And it has exact same, if not better, actually probably better benefits than weightlifting. So OsteoStrong will be my first recommendation. But the second time, you could do something that's called a drop set, where you would go 16, 12, 8, 4. You start with a light weight, then you go a little heavier each time, 12 reps, 8 reps, 4 reps. But the thing is, you have to have that foundation built. So I don't recommend that to anyone that's not already gone through a stability and mobility and has been doing some sort of lifting and has great form. So that's where Siri comes in, and her belief, and I think that's more, I would aim, the heavier stuff is, I think, really good for people, menopausal women who are losing muscle mass really quickly, and male with low testosterone that has trouble with muscle mass as well. And that gets to the 50, 60-year-olds. But we have the sports-specific strength has always been something we harp on when you're sort of, if you're not going through menopause or you haven't gone through it. I think everyone should be doing sport-specific strength work, and that's all our programs are based on.
And it's only because my entire career, I never did any strength training whatsoever, except for sport-specific strength training, which I'll get to. Plus, I was witness to probably 10 other world champion athletes in, whether it be Ironman or half Ironman or Olympic distance, that I trained with, and none of us were doing that heavy weightlifting or strength training. We were doing mobility work, and we were doing the sport-specific strength, which is basically running hills, okay? Amazing. Building strength in the muscles exactly the way you're going to use them running. On the bike, big gear work was massive for us. We did so much of that. Hill reps in a big gear. You've got to work up to that. You've got to work up to adding more resistance. Don't, go in your hardest gear up the steepest hill on your first try here, but build up your strength by being in the position on your bike that you're going to be racing in, and doing hill reps in that position, really focusing on pushing down on the pedal, pulling up on the pedal, getting power all around the pedal strokes. It's incredible. there's a thing called power cranks, which I always used with Mirinda. That is gold. So if you can look those up, if Frank Day is still selling these,
they're actually really
gold.
good, but they're so hard. But
They
talk
are-
to them about activation of the glute med and the pushing through the big
Okay,
toe.
so when you're doing big gear work, push through your big toe, and that is going to activate your glute. So a lot of
it doesn't mean pointing your toe.
No,
You
it
still
doesn't
keep
mean
your heel
pointing.
flat.
Keep your heel flat, but really mentally feel your power going
It
through your
works.
big toe. That will activate your glute. It's so powerful, and if you keep your focus on that, you will always ensure that you're using your glutes, which is your biggest cycling muscle. We want to use our glutes. Some other things that you can think about mentally is as you're pushing down, you want to, or as you're coming over the top of your pedal stroke, feel your toes hitting the front of your shoe so that you're really powering over the top of that pedal stroke. Then push down through your big toe. Then feel your heel come up against the back of your shoe so that you really get power around the bottom curve of your pedal stroke, and then pull up on the shoe to get that pull up. That way you're going to have this even stroke. So what the power cranks do is there are two cranks that are both
They just hang down.
hanging down. So in order to get the pedals going round and round, you truly have to have an absolutely perfect stroke where you are not releasing power at any point of the pedal stroke. It's brilliant, but it's miserable getting used to it. You start on
Didn't
the wind
that really
trainer.
help Rennie with her?
It made her so strong. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I don't even know if Frank Day sells them anymore, but they're brilliant. If you want to look them up,
They
they're
call it power cranks.
power cranks. Don't share that outside of this group, guys. But sports specific is big gear, hill reps on the bike, and really focusing on perfect form.
Okay, for somebody who's never ever done big gear work, and when we say big gear, we don't just mean put it into big gear and do 80, 90 cadence. Like big gear, it really is sort of below 70. 75 if you're prone to niggles with your knees or hamstrings or butt, you could start at that, but 70 is usually a good number to start at, and then usually we say 15 by 1 minute, it's 70. And then you can go down to 65, 60, eventually 55, 50. And we were doing sessions, I remember. What was that?
We were getting down
hill
to
in
like
LA, all these LA.
Mandeville Canyon. And
You know that other one that was really
yeah,
hard?
Mandeville Canyon. And Luke
Different road.
Mackenzie, who's
He's
one of
doing
the
like
top
40
cyclists in the sport.
40 cadence.
We would get to the top and it got so steep. It was just like a wall, and he'd be in his hardest gear and he was literally holding like 30 cadence and crisscrossing to make it to the top. But that year he had, I believe, the first or second fastest bike split in
always
Kona.
rode well, yeah.
So you build up to that. But like Beck says, you don't want to start lower than say 70 cadence, and then you start adding gears as you get adjusted to this, and eventually you start doing these big gear efforts at like 60 cadence. Most of my athletes are at 60. Some of them can get down to like 50 with no issues at all. But that is the single
will feel
most
it a lot.
amazing way to build strength for the bike. It is brilliant.
And that's why bike setup is so important in the off season, getting a
Yeah.
good feel and good setup.
Yeah, absolutely. Running hills on the run, and then in the pool, of course, we've got the band, we've got the pull buoy, we've got the Eenie buoy
Paddles
that
band.
we fill, we've got paddles band. What I love about paddles
Do
band,
some of that this weekend.
we're
you
going to
guys.
do a ton of that this weekend. You have a band, you have no pull buoy, and paddles. Because what I find is that when people use paddles, they often use them because they love it, because they go
Slow
faster,
stroke rate.
because they're pulling more water and they go faster with less effort. That's not what paddles should be. Paddles should actually feel so much harder. Paddles should be that you are maintaining your stroke rate and pulling double the water that you normally would, and finishing your stroke all the way out the back, which is just going to really burn those triceps. And the band forces you to do that. The
You have
band
to
is
have
going
a
to make
fast
it so
stroke
hard.
rate.
You've got to have a fast stroke rate to keep your legs afloat. You've got to have a powerful finish out the back of your stroke. When you put all that together, that is, I think that was one of the best things I ever created, because that was making everybody so strong while maintaining their stroke rate. It was awesome.
So let's give them an example for guys that have never done strength training on the run. And if you're doing like undulations and you're running on hilly courses and outdoors through the mountains and stuff, that's a form of strength training too. But for you guys that like who live in Florida that's dead flat, like let's give them an example of what their first kind of feel for a strength training like run session would be on the treadmill, because we have some amazing, and then we could give them an amazing key set that's one of our favorite, because we're on this private live chat, so people aren't going to hear it, but one of our amazing key sets that you love.
I'll start with just the basics of like winter strength building would be getting on, if you've got a 40-minute run on the treadmill on your training plan, you know, every 5 minutes start building up the incline and just have it be. So what I'll do with my athletes is I'll drop them at the bottom of Left-Hand Canyon and have them run 12 miles up. So it's just straight up. It's just a constant uphill run where you're focusing on perfect uphill run form. You're building that strength. We do not run back down because that's really dangerous and it can lead to, you know, that's just, it's not good. A lot of people break on the downhill and that creates, you know,
and
problems
in
your...
It's dangerous too.
Yeah, it's just dangerous. So what I do is they run up 12 miles. I pick them up in the car. I drive them home. So to do that
or
on
she
the
drives
treadmill,
past and says, "See you later."
no, I would never do that.
You have done that.
But maybe to you. I'm sorry. But what I would do is get on the treadmill and keep increasing the incline where you're doing a 40-minute gradual climb.
So you go
That's
like
building
2%,
strength.
3%, 4%, and then you could finish off at like 8-10% for the last couple of minutes. It's great.
Yeah,
It's a great
absolutely.
way to do it.
But no running downhill.
Yeah.
From there, you know, do a little warm up on the flat. Do your 30 minutes of gradual incline for 30 minutes, and then 5 minutes on the flat, and there's your 40-minute run where you're building strength and focusing on perfect uphill run form, which is so crucial and energy saving. Allows you to get up those hills with a lot less effort and a lot quicker as well.
Okay, what about a really cool incline run set that they could do if they're used to running hills, they're strong, they don't have calf issues?
Gradient set. Let's tell them.
Let's tell you guys a gradient set. This is a kicker. Like, you need to tell them because I always forget it and get it wrong. This is a killer.
The gradient set, you want to do a decent warm up, super easy, because once you start the set, I'm going to ask you to be holding.
It's not about speed though.
It's not about speed, but you're at a strong enough effort where these inclines are going to be really difficult.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
So if you're warming up at, say, 6 miles an hour, I would not recommend doing more than 7 miles an hour. If you warm up at 5 miles an hour, I wouldn't want to have it set for more than 6 miles an hour. So about 1 mile an hour above your warm-up, because it gets so hard, you'll think, oh, this is easy. But the idea is to not change the speed.
Yeah. Right. So once the set starts, you sit at that speed, unless it's too easy, of course. But you sit at that speed for the whole time. But that's the goal. So
usually it's not more than 1 mile above your easy warm-up pace.
And it's 3 sets through for my guys. You can do 1 set through, 2 sets.
3 sets?
We do 3
That's
sets.
An hour 20.
Yeah. We do 1 minute at 10% incline and then 5 minutes flat. And oh my God, that flat feels so good for 5 minutes. Then you go 2 minutes at either 7 or 8%, 5 minutes flat. The flat feels so good. Then you do 3 minutes at 6% incline, 5 minutes flat. That is 1 set. So then you go to the second set. And again, you are not changing the speed. So like Beck says, if you warmed up at 6 miles an hour, you're doing this set.
The best I did of that was 8.6, but I know you used to run it at 9.3.
No, I think I used to do it at 8.7 to 9 for that set. But yeah, so it's an amazing set. And know that when you're just suffering on the incline bit, you get that relief of coming back down to 0%, and it feels amazing. And you actually feel like it starts almost feeling easy.
Yeah, it feels easy. But then you go again.
So that 3 times through is like an hour 20, but you can do it 2 times through. You can do it 1 time through, but it's an amazing set. And what that does, which is so crucial, you guys, so many of us when we're running a rolling hills course, we will slow down significantly anytime we get to an uphill or anytime you get to a downhill even. The ultimate goal of you running your best 5K, your best 10K, your best 21K, your best marathon is being able to maintain your pace no matter what's happening on the course. And that comes from great form. Uphill run form is leaning forward, landing beneath your hips, pumping the arms, quick feet, little feet, quick feet, little feet, quick feet, little feet. Maintaining great form and also being able to withstand the change in heart rate that's going to come from having to maintain that pace going uphill, maintain it coming downhill, and then on the flat. Mm-hmm. It's a brilliant, brilliant set. We've used it for so many years, and it I always knew when I nailed that set that I
Me
was
too.
ready to have a great race.
Me too, because it does improve your like high end aerobic as well, because your heart rate's pretty elevated during the entire time. It doesn't really recover.
Yeah.
Well, as you get fitter, you're able to do it a little faster, so your recovery's not quite as good.
Exactly.
But, yeah. So you can increase it as you get fitter, increase the speed. There's some really good questions here. So Meryl is asking, she's doing like Placid. It's a hilly bike course, and I know how hilly Placid is, and there are definitely times where you cannot be in your aero bars.
Yeah.
And she's asking whether we do big gear seated and in the TT bars, and yes, that we do
Yes.
both. Ideally, so the difference is when you're in your time trial bars, you're doing sport specific strength work. So the low cadence, you're just conditioning the muscles in the time trial position. But it is actually very true that you do want to condition them in the seated position too. But generally, with most bike courses in Ironman, they don't have a lot of time where you're grinding in your seat. Usually you can stay in your TT or it's up and over, and it's not like Alpe d'Huez, where you're sitting there grinding in your seat for like 2 or 3 hours. But you definitely do need to practice big gear seated
Absolutely.
as well. So how would she include that for like Lake Placid? That's something you can do.
So, I mean, Nice, for example, that was a course where you're going to get out of the saddle, you're going to be out of the bars a lot. So, yes, you're exactly right. I would do something like 4 times 10 minutes. I have a set that I do with my guys where we'll do 10 minutes just in the bars as much as they can be, or out of the bars if they need to be, just big gear, kind of steady, 10 minutes up to the top, and then they come back down. The second set, they do 20 seconds out of the saddle pretty hard, and then they sit without getting in the bars, but sit for the next 40 seconds, 20 seconds out of the saddle, sit for 40 seconds, and up that same hill, easy back down to the bottom, and then you repeat that set again.
And you can do that on your trainer too.
You can do that in the trainer. You can do that if you've got a CompuTrainer or a kicker or whatever. You can absolutely simulate any hill by using your gearing and the levels.
And if you have the course profile, you can have a look at that too and like adjust it and see how long the climb would probably go for. So that's something good you used to be able to do with CompuTrainer, but I don't think they have that anymore. I don't know, but you can definitely go and have a look at the course like outlay and see what the
you always should. Actually, that's a great point.
For sure.
Always look at the course profile so you can train specifically for
like
that
there
course.
is an 8% climb that goes for 10 miles. Okay, that's going to take me like 20-30 minutes, so I'm going to be, and it's really like 8%, you can't stay out of the seat for that long, for that longer period. So you want to be grinding like in the seat or in the bars, like mix it up. Another way to do it if you are at home, you could do, and this is all assuming that you guys have already done big gear work and you're used to it, would be, like Siri said, you could go, if you're doing like a 6 minutes of strength work, you could go 2 minutes at 70 in the bars, then 2 minutes at 70 seated, but you can usually drop back even, lower when you're in the seat. You can just mix it up. Then go back to the bars, time trial bars, and back to the seated position and just mix it up. Like do 1 or 2 minutes of each position.
Yeah, awesome. And when you look at the course profile, what's great about that is you can do that on your wind trainer. Okay, you can, like Beck said, okay, it looks like it's going to be a 30-minute climb where the steepest bit's going to be at the top. And you can create a session on your wind trainer that is going to simulate that. And I like to make things even harder than what I'm going to get on race day. We talked about that a few live chats ago about training Loretta Harrop and Susan Williams for the Olympics in 2004 in Athens. We were training the course on the CompuTrainer, and it was way harder than the actual course.
Said that, yeah.
And they ended up absolutely crushing. They won the silver and the bronze medal in Athens. And I believe that part of that was that the CompuTrainer was off and made that course so much harder than it actually was in reality, that on race day they felt amazing. So that now makes me think that let's make things a little bit harder than you're even going to experience on race day, and that will make race day feel a lot more fun, and you'll feel a lot better as well.
And for those guys that living in the flat areas like Florida, I keep saying Florida because I have 2 athletes that live there, but you guys don't have hills, you can't train on hills, so using like big gear work and strength work is imperative on the bike, and you could absolutely get your strength work on a trainer. Hang on a sec, we've got someone knocking at our door. You can absolutely get that strength work on the trainer. So you just, if it doesn't feel low enough RPM, then it means your trainer's just not set on a high enough intensity. So, sorry. Sorry guys, we had a little visitor there. Okay, Siri, let the dogs out. Okay, so I'm so sorry guys. So our beautiful ranch hand, Raul, is here. And they're just having a conversation and it's really noisy. I'm really sorry, you guys. Okay, so we've talked about strength work off-season. Do you guys have any more questions about training in the off-season or coming into season? I hope we helped you a little bit with that. Let us know if you have any more questions. I'm so sorry. Siri, can you open the door and let the dogs out? Yeah. Okay, so now they're not barking. Great. Any more questions, let us know. I'm hungry. Yeah, Nicole, if you're hungry, you should be eating. Now, these, I was told these are not too bad for you because it says grain-free. I know they're organic and they're non-GMO, so they're probably the healthiest unhealthy tortilla chips you can get. That's what we're eating, you guys, and some hummus, organic hummus here. So let us know, you guys, any more questions. Otherwise, I'll probably tune out. Excuse that dog noise. Let's see. When we come back to Roth, oh my gosh, we were just talking about doing like a holiday each year once Siri's healthy. And that's definitely a bucket list, Dom. We'd love to go to Germany and Switzerland and go back to Alpe d'Huez and Lausanne and Lausanne, where we both won races, and explore Europe without having to do triathlons, spread out, carrying our bikes everywhere with it. Although we'd love to use our bikes while we're there because we'd love to just go back to our old stomping grounds. So hopefully that will happen soon. Oh, one other thing, you guys, anyone tuning in from Europe, probably not right now, but Yvonne is going to be doing a Wednesday 12:30 our time, Mountain Time, American Time, 12:30 Wednesdays every single month. She's going to be doing a live chat for our Europeans. I think it's 8:30 on Wednesday in Europe, once a month. So that's pretty awesome. We have our camp coming up. We're going to be going live a lot from the camp. Siri is going to be instructing live from her lounge room. She's not allowed out of the house. We have 20 of our guys. It's amazing. We have 20 people coming into Colorado. They're doing a dinner on Friday. Then we're starting at 6:30 with our bike session. We're doing a swim as well at lunchtime, and then a long run and a long swim on Sunday. And we have amazing weather. It's going to be up to 50 degrees and sunny. So we're really excited. We will make sure we tune in a lot for you guys so you guys can see what we're doing and catch everybody at the camp. So if we don't have any more questions, I'm going to say Happy New Year, you guys. We love you so much. Hopefully my wife gets to come back in and say Happy New Year. She's saying Happy New Year to our ranch hand right now, who's been our absolute savior. Thank you all for an amazing year. It's our 3rd year in the club, and we're so grateful. We want to make it a bigger and better next year. We have some exciting stuff that we will announce New Year's Day or maybe the day after. But we wanted to keep it really specific for the sport tonight on our live chat. So Happy New Year, Raul!
Happy New Year! We love you, Raul.
Siri's going to come on and say Happy New Year. And Gabby, Merle, Nicole, Lisa. Oh, Lisa. Karen. Okay. I said Happy New Year to some people, but you want to say Happy New Year's?
Happy New Year to all of you. We love and appreciate you all so very much.
There's
and
18
you know what
people
else?
on. I love that we're not the only ones that don't have a life. Just kidding, guys.
We also believe in each and every one of you and all of your dreams and all of your goals. We wish you so much love, good health, blessings, and all the very best wishes, not only for this coming year, but for every year onwards. And we just love and appreciate you. We celebrate you today and every day. So thank you. Happy New Year, and have a wonderful night of planning all your dreams coming true. And we wish you blessings and love.
Thank you for all the love you've been sending my wife. We really feel it. We're really grateful. We love you all. And for those coming to camp, can't wait to see you.
Love you all so much.
Woohoo. Bye.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Hey there, Cam here again. Thanks for listening. Great way to start 2020 is with a Tri-Club membership or even a Team Sirius Tri-Club training plan. You can grab one of those over at the website, teamsiriustriclub.com.